In the last class, we have discussed some introduction related to Mendel's experiments. Okay, and today we'll discuss about what is the procedure the Mendel has followed. Okay, to to explain this inheritance pattern. Okay, when you observe here, Mendel conducted such artificial pollination or cross pollination experiments using several true breeding pea lines. Okay, that means when you observe here, okay, we already, while we are studying about sexual reproduction in flowering plants, we have come across some artificial hybridization techniques, that is emasculation, bagging, tagging, like this. So such procedures were followed by the Mendel to undergo this artificial pollination or cross pollination. Why he was especially mentioning this cross pollination means, when you observe the pea plant, the pea plants usually or naturally will undergo self pollination because the flowers are cleistogamous flowers. The flowers are cleistogamous. Here, cleistogamous means they never open, not like that. Here, what happened? The flower is chasmogamous. Okay, the flower is chasmogamous. That means the flower opens, but what happens means some of the petals will enclose the essential parts of a flower. Okay, some of the petals, okay, the wing petals and keel petals will enclose the essential parts of a flower. So that's why, as the essential parts of the flower are not exposed, that's why we are calling the flowers in case of pea plant as a cleistogamous. We all know very well the cleistogamous flowers usually undergo autogamy or self pollination. But here, Mendel, while conducting this hybridization experiments, okay, he has undergone certain cross pollinations. Okay, and when he was that means when he initially, okay, that means in the initial stages of this hybridization experiments, always he used true breeding or pure lines for that trait. Whatever the trait he wants to study the inheritance pattern, okay, that plant is showing whether the true breeding or pure line, he checked. That means he is okay, he confirmed that that plant is showing a homozygous nature. Okay, is showing a homozygous nature for that trait. That means if you take a capital T, okay, if you take tall, capital, the both the alleles are same. Okay, if we take a dwarf, a small t. Okay, if he has taken the flower color violet, capital V, capital V. Okay, if he has taken okay, the seed color yellow, Y, capital Y, capital Y. Okay, small y for green. So always he has selected the homozygous for that trait. While for the trait, whatever the trait he is looking for, okay, he didn't consider the other characters. Okay, whatever the character, for example, if he is undergoing monohybrid cross, he selected only one trait, and that trait, whether it is present in pure line or not, that one he checked. Okay, he didn't bothered about the other characters. Okay, whenever he checked the, when you has understand, okay, when you want to study the inheritance of okay, two characters, that is a dihybrid cross. Okay, whatever the character he has selected or whatever the traits that he has selected, those two traits only he checked whether they are true breeding or pure lines. Not okay, he didn't bother about the other characters. Okay, because if we consider the many characters at one time, okay, the results might be varying in a different. Okay, so to make sure that, okay, whether the, okay, to understand the inheritance pattern in a proper way, every time he selected the true breeding or pure lines only. So here we can see a true breeding line is one that, a true breeding, we can see what is meant by true breeding. A true breeding line is one that having undergone continuous self-pollination shows the stable trait inheritance and for several generations. And expression for several generations. So that means when you have selected the true breeding ones, how he is able to know that that plant is a true breeding or pure line means when he has undergone self-pollination. When he has undergone self-pollination for a fourth to sixth generations. In the fourth and sixth generation also, if he has got the same character in that plant, at the end of a fourth generation also, if he has got same character in the fourth generation or fifth generation, then he came to understand that that plant is showing a true breeding. So that's what he say. A true breeding line is one that having undergone continuous self-pollination. We have to undergo self-pollination. We should not undergo cross-pollination means because two different characters may get mixed up. So that's why we are not going with the cross-pollination. Here we are undergoing self-pollination. And if you undergo self-pollination, if the plant is showing a stable trait inheritance, that means the same trait is getting transferred to the next generation also. And expression for several generations. And the plant is expressing the same character for several generations. In that case, we can observe that the plant is a true breeding or pure line. And next, when the Mendel has conducted, Mendel has not undergone only one character at a time. Sometimes he has undergone monohabit cross, dihabit cross, trihabit cross, up to like that. He has selected 7 different characters which are represented by 14 different traits. So whatever the 14 different traits he has selected, he confirmed that all those 14 traits are showing pure lines. So that's what he is saying. Mendel selected 14 true breeding pea plant varieties as pairs which were similar except for one character with contrasting traits. So for example, if he wants to study the inheritance pattern of stem height, he selected the 2 varieties of plants in which all the characters remain same except for the stem height. One plant will be dwarf and one plant will be tall. One plant he has selected as the tall and one plant he has selected as dwarf, but the remaining all other characters that are observed in that pea plant are similar. That's why. So we are similar except for one character with the contrasting traits. So opposite, tall, dwarf, violet, white, yellow, green. Inflated, constricted, or full or constricted, like that. He has selected 2 varieties of plants in which all other characters remain same except for the characters he has selected, the contrasting. For that characters whatever he has selected, he selected 2 varieties of contrasting traits. That is so. For the some of the contrasting traits selected were smooth or wrinkled seeds, yellow or green seeds, inflated or constricted green or yellow pods. Pod means fruit. The fruit color green or and a tall or dwarf. We can observe in this table. So totally he has selected 7 characters which are showing 14 traits of 7 pairs. 7 contrasting traits are 7 pairs of contrasting traits, each representing 7 characters. So total traits are 14. Traits are 14. Characters are 7. Contrasting traits are also 7. Remember. So when you observe here, what are the characters that the Mendel has selected means? Stem height, flower color, flower position, pod shape,
Sir, pod means fruit, sir.
pod means as fruit. Okay, the fruit, okay, the fruit in case of Fabaceae, we call it as a pod or legume. Okay, understand? Okay, that the fruit that okay, that is like we can observe different no, like berry. Okay, berry, drupe, capsule, like that. The type that the okay, the type of the fruit in case of Fabaceae or Leguminosae family is either called as a pod or legume. Okay, okay, there is okay. It is a monolocular ovary with marginal presentation. Okay, a fruit which is developed from a monolocular ovary with a marginal presentation will usually develops into legume or pod. Okay, there is, and here we can see the character is stem height. Okay, for stem height we have got two contrasting. Okay, we have got contrasting traits. One is a tall and the second one is a dwarf. Okay, the contrasting trait, that means opposite traits. One is tall and the second one is a dwarf. These are the opposite. And next, coming to the flower color. Okay, for flower color, okay, we have got two contrasting traits, violet, white. And next, flower position, the contrasting traits are axial, terminal. Axial means in the okay, the flower will arise in the axil of the leaf. Terminal means at the tip of the branch or at the tip of the stem, the flower will arise. That is called a terminal. And next, coming to the pod shape, that means pod shape means a fruit shape. Okay, the shape of the fruit is inflated, or we can say full. Full means if it is okay, without any wrinkles, straight. That is called inflated. Okay, and the opposite is constricted.
Sir, you muted, sir.
Okay. Okay, if the pod shape is okay, here the pod shape is inflated or constricted. Inflated means flat. Okay, inflated means flat. Okay, and next, constricted. Constricted means wrinkles. Okay, if the pod is showing, if the fruit is showing wrinkles on its surface, not as straight, then we call it as a constricted. And next, pod color. Okay, pod color. Okay, it is green or yellow. Okay, that is a green or a yellow. And next, when coming to the seed shape, okay, seed shape, round or wrinkled. Okay, round or wrinkled. And next, seed color. The seed color is yellow or green. Okay, that is okay. These are the 7 characters and 14 traits that what on which the Mendel has conducted the hybridization experiments. Okay. Okay, here we can see, okay, the flowers are bisexual flowers. One thing you have to remember, okay, the pea plant, okay, that means the garden pea produces bisexual flowers. So if you want to undergo controlled cross pollination, okay, we have to undergo emasculation. Okay, first of all, we have to remove the anthers to prevent cell pollination. Okay, and later after removing the anthers, the flower or the plant, okay, is covered with the polythene bag. Okay, or okay, polythene bag, and next it is tied to prevent unwanted pollination. And next, when the stigmas are matured, what happened? Okay, the pollen grains which are selected from the, okay, the pollen grains which are selected from the plant, okay, from the anthers of the selected plant, okay, are collected, and these pollen grains are deposited on the stigma of the respective plant, and it is okay, this, okay, and later that means the pollen grains are transferred from the desired plant, okay, from the anthers of desired plant onto the, okay, respective plant on which we need to undergo cross pollination. Okay, and later is bagged. Okay, as a result, what happens, so that we can prevent unwanted pollination, and later it is followed by, okay, the pollen grains will germinate, enters into the embryo sac, undergoes fertilization, and the seeds are produced, and the seeds that are produced, fruits and seeds are developed, and the seeds are collected, and they are raised to obtain the new generation, or the new generation which we call it as first generation. Okay, first, whatever the primary plants that we have selected, that is called parents, male parent, one variety, one plant variety. For example, if you want to undergo cross between violet flowered plants with that of white flowered plants, so here we can see the violet flowered plant, okay, is taken as a female. So the plant which was selected female, in that plant we have to remove the anthers to prevent cell pollination. And the white flowered plant, okay, that means the plant which will produces white flowers of garden pea, okay, that is selected as male. Okay, for this no need of emasculation, bagging and all that. Simply when the anthers matured, okay, simply when the anthers matured, the pollen grains are discharged. No, okay, that pollen grains which are discharged from the anthers of this white flowered plant is collected, and next, okay, the violet color flower in which the anthers and the bagging is done, the emasculation and bagging is done, the bag is carefully removed, and the pollen grains are dusted, and it is rebagged to prevent unwanted pollination. And now, okay, no use of a white flower. Okay, we are not taking as a female. No, the whatever the female flower that we have taken into consideration, that only we have to consider, because there only we'll find the seeds, we'll get the seeds. So now what we are, okay, it undergoes fertilization, and the fruit and the seeds are obtained, and the seeds that are obtained are allowed to, okay, they are sown in the soil and they are allowed to germinate, and the characters are observed. What they found, that means in the okay, in the first generation, they observed all the flowers are showing a violet colored flowers only. No white flowered plants were obtained in the first generation. Okay, he obtained only violet colored flowers only of the plants. Okay, what is observed, that is what we can see here. So inheritance of one gene, that means okay, to study the inheritance of one gene, what he has done, let us take the example of one such hybridization experiment carried out by the Mendel, where he crossed tall and dwarf pea plants to study the inheritance of one gene. Okay, here we, okay, in the diagram, they have given violet, okay, the flower color, but in the description, they have given a stem height. Okay, the process is same. So what he will do, okay, he'll select one tall plant and one dwarf plant, and he make sure that before undergoing this hybridization experiment, and he will make sure that the tall plant is a true breeding and the dwarf plant is also true breeding. Okay, that means both the varieties should show true breeding for that trait. So after obtaining the true breeding of this tall and dwarf plants, after confirming that this tall plant is a true breeding and dwarf plant is a true breeding, now what he has done means, okay, he selected one plant as a female and one plant as a male. That means because we have to cross now. So for example, if we take the tall plant is selected as a female and the dwarf plant is selected as a male. So what you will do, okay, in the tall plant, in the tall plant which he has selected, the flowers are selected. Okay, the flowers are bisexual. So what we will do to prevent self pollination, we'll remove the anthers by a process called emasculation, and the flowers are covered with a polythene bag to prevent unwanted pollination. And next, okay, we'll select another plant variety, that is dwarf. In that also the flowers are developed. Okay, and now what we'll do means, okay, we'll select okay, that means here no emasculation, no bagging, nothing. But what we have to do means we have to observe whether, okay, when the anthers are getting matured, when the anthers get matured and releases the or discharges the pollen grains, the pollen grains from this dwarf plant is collected. The pollen grains from the, okay, flowers are, okay, the pollen grains from the, okay, dwarf plant is collected, flowers of dwarf plant is collected, and carefully the flowers which are born on the tall plant are the bag is removed, the emasculated and bagged one is there. No, the flowers are, the bag is carefully removed, and the pollen grains of this dwarf plant is deposited on the stigma and it is rebagged to prevent pollination. And it is allowed, okay, that means it undergoes fertilization and it produces fruits and seeds, and the seeds are obtained and the seeds are raised to obtain the first generation. And for his surprise, okay, in that he got, okay, all the plants that were obtained in the first generation are showing tallness only. No dwarf plant were obtained in the first generation. That is what he's saying. So, okay, when we take violet and white color flowers, we got all violet flowered. Okay, when you take tall and dwarf, all the plants that are obtained in the first generation are tall only, no dwarf plants. Even if we take a inflated and constricted pod shape, okay, all the plants that are obtained in the F1 okay, in the first generation are inflated, constricted. Okay, and if you take seed color, all are yellow seeded plants only, no green seeded plants. If we take flower position, all the plants that are obtained are axial, showing axial flower position. No terminal flower positioned plants were obtained in the first generation. So,
Dominant and terminal or axial, sir?
Axial, terminal. Axial is a, okay, he obtained all axial flowered plants only in the first generation.
Yes, sir.
Okay, no terminal flower
axial is dominant.
Wait, let me complete. Wait. So that is, so Mendel, okay, that means let us take the example of one such hybridization experiment carried out by Mendel, where he crossed the tall and dwarf pea plants to study the inheritance of one gene. Okay, he collected the seeds produced as a result of this cross and grow them to generate plants of the first hybrid generation, and this generation is also called the first filial progeny or F1 generation. So that means whatever the generation that is obtained by crossing the two different varieties of true breeding plants, okay, whatever the new generation that is obtained, that new generation that he obtained, he called it as a first filial generation or F1 generation. Okay, that is. And next, when you observe here, Mendel observed that all the F1 progeny plants were tall, like one of its parents, none were dwarf. Okay, that means okay, when he observed for okay, when he observed generation, for his surprise, all because he has taken two different varieties now, tall and dwarf, but actually tall as well as the dwarf plants both has to be obtained in the F1 generation. But for his surprise, okay, in the F1 generation, he got all the plants with the tall character only. None were dwarf, nothing, no plant was with a dwarfness. All are tall plants only. And next, he made similar observations for other pairs of traits. He found that the F1 always resembled either one of the parents and the trait of the other parent was not seen in them. So that means he has undergone he has selected 7 different characters now. When he checked with the other 6 characters also, the result is same. That means when he selected the stem height in the F1 generation, always he got tall plant. When he selected the flower color, he got only violet okay colored flowers only. And next, flower position, when he has selected the flower position, always he has got axial position flowers only. And next, when he selected the pod shape, always he okay in the F1 generation he got inflated okay pod with okay plants with the inflated pods only. And next, when he has selected the pod color, always in the F1 generation he got green colored pods only. When he selected the seed shape, okay, in the F1 generation, every time he got round seeded plants only. And when he selected the seed color, okay, he got always a yellow seeded plants only in the F1 generation. Okay, he never got dwarf, okay, or white or terminal or constricted or yellow, wrinkled, green. Okay, like this, he didn't got the other trait. One of the parental trait, that too only one has been observed in the F1 generation, not the other one. Okay, when he checked with the other characters also, the similar results only he observed. Okay, that is what he is saying. And next, okay, next, that is next what he has done means, that means to obtain the F1 generation from the parent generation, he crossed the parental generation. Okay, to obtain the F1 generation, what he has done, he crossed the parental generation to obtain the F1 generation. But then, okay, to obtain the F2 generation, okay, to obtain the F2 generation, what he has done means he selfed the F1 generation. That means he undergone self-pollination. Okay, that means what? Okay, that means he has selected only one. Means okay, he didn't. Okay, what happened means whichever okay, whatever the plant. For example, he has got a stem. Okay, all the tall plants he obtained in the F1 generation. No, all the plants were completely bagged to prevent okay unwanted pollination, to okay to prevent a cross pollination. Here his aim is not to undergo cross pollination, he has to undergo self pollination. So here he didn't undergone any emasculation, but he undergone bagging to prevent unfortunate cross pollination. That means okay, pea plant usually undergoes self pollination only, but there is a chance for a cross pollination also now. So to prevent that chance cross pollination also, what he has done means he bagged the flowers of this F1 generation and allowed only self pollination. Okay, that is so Mendel then self pollinated the tall F1 plant. To his surprise, found that in the second filial generation, some of the offsprings were dwarf, and the character was not seen in the F1 generation was now expressed. So when you observe here, okay, here we can see, okay, first he has selected the parents. In that parents, okay, he has selected the true breeding tall plant and a true breeding dwarf plant, and he crossed the tall plant with a dwarf plant, and he obtained the F1 generation. In the F1 generation, all the plants that were obtained are tall, no exceptions. All the plants that are obtained in the F1 generation are tall. And now what he has done means, to obtain the F2 generation, he selfed the F1 generation. That means, okay, that means he has selected one, okay, that means, for example, we can take the flowers are bisexual now. So that means the pollen grains of the, okay, anthers of the same flower are deposited on the stigma of the same flower. Like that, he has undergone self-pollination. Okay, so he has undergone self-pollination of the F1 plants to obtain the F2 generation. But okay, as we have selected tall plants only now, so we have to get only tall plants in the F2 generation. We have to get only tall plants in the F1 generation, F2 generation. But for his surprise, he also got dwarf plants in the F2 generation, which is not observed in the F1 generation. Okay, we can see here. Okay, we can see, okay, these are tall plants and dwarf plant. But a dwarf plant is not observed in the F1 generation. But even he selfed the F1 generation to obtain the F2 generation, he not only got the tall plants, he also got some dwarf plants, which is not observed in the F1 generation, but it is present in a parental generation. Okay, that is what we can see here. So how many number he got? So Mendel then self-pollinated the tall F1 plants, and to his surprise found that in the, okay, F2 generation, some of the offsprings were dwarf. The character that was not seen in the F1 generation was now expressed. Okay, the proportion, when you observe here, the proportion of the plants that were dwarf were 1/4 of the F2 plants. Okay, what is the proportion means? 1/4 of the F2 plants. That means, for example, totally there are 100 plants are obtained because seeds are there now. Okay, he selfed the F1 generation. Okay, that means in that total, okay, seeds, there are total 100 seeds are obtained from that plant, from that total plant. Okay, total 100 seeds are obtained, and we raised that 100 seeds, or we sown that 100 seeds, and the new 100 plants are obtained. In that 100 new plants, 25 are dwarf, and the remaining 75 are tall. That means out of the total plants that are obtained, 1/4 of the plants are showing a tallness, okay, dwarfness, and the remaining, okay, while the 3/4 of the F2 plants were tall. But okay, there is okay, if you have taken the other character like violet and white, that is flower color, okay, 3/4 are violet flowered plants and 1/4 are white flowered plants. Okay, in the pod shape, inflated and okay, constricted. Okay, 3/4 are inflated and 1/4 are constricted. Like that. Okay, every time he has got okay, 3/4 and 1/4. 3/4 tall plants and 1/4 dwarf plants. So the tall and the dwarf traits were identical to their parental type and did not show any blending. Okay, that is all the offsprings were either tall or dwarf. None were of in between height. Okay, that means okay, that means all the plants that were obtained in the F1 generation are showing either one of the parental character. That means, for example, okay, for example, if you have taken violet and white, Okay, 3/4 are violet and 1/4 are white. None where mixed color is not obtained. Violet and white mixing some other new color is not obtained. Okay, we have got either violet color or white color. Okay, that is 3/4 violet color and 1/4, approximately 1/4 white flowered plants. Okay, if you take okay, seed color, yellow seed and white seed. Okay, 3/4 are yellow seeded plants and 1/4 are okay, green seeded plants, but none were intermediate colored. That means that is what they observed. No blending. That means no change in the characters. Blending means change. No change in the characters. Okay, for example, if you take a stem height, either tall or dwarf plants obtained, no intermediate in between. Intermediate height containing plants were no plants were with intermediate height. For example, if the plant is suppose if we take 5 meters, okay, 5 meters and a dwarf means 2 meters, but no one were 3.5. Okay, either they are 5 meters or 2 meters. None were with a 3 meter, okay, 3.5 or 4 meters. Like that, height never came. Either 5 meters or 2 meters. 5 meters tall, 2 meters dwarf. Okay, that is so none. Okay, whatever the 7 characters that he has selected, in all those, he didn't observe any intermediate characters or traits. All are either showing one character or other character, either okay, that is and next, okay, that's what he is saying. Similar results were obtained with the other traits that he studied. That means whatever the 7 character has selected, in all those they observed the same one. Okay, only one of the parental traits was expressed in the F1 generation. Okay, that means in the F1 generation only one trait is observed, while at the F2 stage both the traits were expressed in the proportion of 3:1. That is a 3/4 and 1/4. So in the ratio of 3:1. Okay, and the contrasting traits did not show any blending at either F1 or F2 stage. Okay, if they have shown any blending, they might have shown at F2, okay, at F1 generation only. But in the F1 generation, they didn't show any blending. And at the same time, in the F2 generation also, they didn't show any blending. Okay, they shown the whatever the characters that we have selected. No change in the characters or traits. Okay. And next, so that means after conducting these experiments with all these traits, finally he has concluded certain results. So based on these observations, okay, Mendel proposed that something was being stably passed down unchanged from parent to offspring through the gametes over successive generations. So that means from this what we came to understand means, okay, there are, okay, that means there are some components, okay, there are some components that are present in the living organisms. Okay, these components which are present in the living organisms are passing down from parents to offspring. So what are the bridge, what is the bridge between the offspring means the gametes? Because okay, from the male parent a male gamete will come, and from the female parent a female gamete will come, and both will undergo fertilization and results in the formation of zygote, and that zygote only will develop into organism, we know very well. So that means how an organism is able to express any character means it is only because, okay, some of the components are getting transmitted from parents to offsprings through gametes. So the gametes are the bridges between one generation and another generation. So that's why he's saying. So Mendel proposed that something was stably passed down, unchanged from parents to offspring through the gametes over successive generations. And he called these things as factors. Okay, whatever the components that are stably transferring from one generation to another generation through gametes, those components he called them as factors. Okay, at the time we don't know what is gene and what is DNA, so he used the word factor to explain the components which are getting transmitted from one generation to another generation through gametes, and he called that components as factors. Now we call them as genes. Later, these factors were renamed as genes. So, okay, therefore, the genes therefore are the units of inheritance. Because the genes, okay, that means the characters or the traits that are present in the parents are transferring to the offsprings, okay, through genes only. So the genes are representative of the one generation to the another generation. That's why the genes are described as the units of inheritance. Okay, that is what this genes consists of. Okay, they contain, that means the genes contain the information that is required to express a particular trait in an organism. That means any trait or any character, any trait or any character, any trait or any character which was expressed in any organism, it is only because information that is present with the gene. So that is based on the information that is present on the gene. Okay, it is involved in the expression of a trait. So, okay, genes therefore are the units of inheritance. They contain the information that is required to express a particular trait in an organism. Okay, that is, they contain the information that is required to express a particular trait in an organism. So genes which code for a pair of contrasting traits are known as alleles. That is, they are slightly different forms of the same gene. So the genes which code for a pair of contrasting traits, for example, if you take the character stem height, okay, the stem height is represented by two traits. One is tall and the second one is dwarf. Tall is represented by capital T and the dwarf is represented by small t. So these two alternative forms are these two contrasting traits. Okay, the genes which are representing these two contrasting traits, we are calling it as alleles. That means capital T, small t, alleles. Violet and white, capital V, small v, alleles. Okay, capital Y, small y, yellow and green, yellow seed and green seed. Okay, and next, round wrinkled, capital R, small r. Round represented by capital R and wrinkle is represented by small r. So these two genes which are presenting the two contrasting traits are called as the alleles. Okay, they are almost same but with a slight difference. Okay, with a slight difference. That's why one is showing the tallness and one is showing the dwarfness. One is showing the violet color flower, and one is showing a white flower. So that means there is a slight variation in that. Because of that slight variation, okay, they are showing okay, a difference in the trait, but representing one character. That two contrasting traits are a pair of contrasting trait. Two means pair. Okay, that's why we are using the term pair. Pair means because they are belonging to the same character now. That's why we are using the term pair. So a pair of contrasting traits, that means the genes which are representing the, okay, a pair of contrasting traits, we are calling them as alleles. Okay, that means they are slightly different forms of the same gene, stem height gene only, but slight variation, tallness, dwarfness. Okay, like that. Understand? That is. And next, when you observe here, okay, why we are using capital T, small t? Why we, okay, for a tallness we can use a capital T, and for a dwarf we can use a D now. Why we are using capital T, small t? And for using, for representing a flower color, violet and white, why we are using capital V, small v? Why you should not use a capital V and okay, W? Why? Because to get rid of these confusions. So if you use alphabetical symbols for each gene, then the capital letter is used for the trait expressed at the F1 stage, and the small alphabet for the other trait. So that means we have to follow certain rules. Follow certain rules while giving certain alphabetical symbols to the genes. What is that rule means? Whatever the character, that means we are undergoing hybridization now of the contrasting traits. Okay, when you observe, that means when you cross a tall plant and a dwarf plant, in the F1 generation, what we are getting a tall plant. So whatever the character or whatever the trait that is expressed in the F1 generation, for that trait, we have to use the capital letter of the alphabet. That represents the dominant. So that's what we can see here. So if we use alphabetical symbols for each gene, then the capital letter is used for the trait expressed at the F1 stage, that is F1 generation, and a small alphabet for the other trait. That means whatever the trait that is not observed in the F1 generation, for that trait we have to use the small letter or small alphabet. Okay, for example, in case of the character of height, that is stem height, capital T is used for the tall trait and small t for the dwarf. And the capital T and small t are the alleles of each other. Okay, that is. Hence, in plants, the pairs, okay, in plant, the pair of alleles for height would be, that means how many combinations are possible means maximum 3 combinations. Capital T, capital T, capital T, small t, small t, small t. Okay, these are the possible combinations we can have. So that's what he's saying. So hence in plant, the pair of alleles for height would be capital T, capital T, capital T, small t, or small t, small t. That is how we'll represent.
So small t capital T is there, sir.
Ma?
So small t capital T.
Okay, even though small t, capital T is there also, but the expression is same, no? Only the capital T only expressed, no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So no problem. Okay, you can represent as a capital T, small t, or small t, capital T. That's why only the combinations are 3 possible. Okay. Whether you
Yes,
write
sir.
a capital T, small t, or small t, capital T, the resultant will be the same. That is tall. Okay. So the
Yes, sir.
so the pair of alleles for a height would be, the possible combinations might be, okay, will be capital T, capital T, capital T, or small t, small t. Okay, for example, even if you take other ones also, for example, if you take a seed color, yellow and green, capital Y, capital Y, capital Y, small y, small y, small y. Okay, even if you take a flower color, okay, capital V, capital V, capital V, small v, small v, small v, violet and white. Okay, like this. Okay, that means we have to follow certain rules. Okay, while giving alphabetical symbols for the genes, we should not give irrespective. Okay, we have to give only, we have to follow certain rules which were given by this scientist. Okay, that is. Okay, the remaining part will continue in the next class. Any doubt up to now?